This is Lorelai. Today I wanted to record a very small video because the new year is coming up just in a few hours from now. So I have a few great tips for you how to make your new year resolution and how to make it stick. The most common problem people have with a new year resolution is that they cannot stick to it and they write just because they got in the habit of writing the same things over and over again for the past 10 years. Feeling discouraged and they just don't feel like starting. I mean, you probably know that you've written on your New Year resolution that you want to quit smoking, that you want to start a healthy living, exercise, you're going to spend more time with your family, and you're finally going to make your first $1 million. If you're watching this video and you haven't made $1 million yet, if you're not eating healthy, if you're not spending enough time with your family, if you're not in the shape you want to see yourself in, this video will hopefully give you a few tips on how to get on track and how to actually make a New Year resolution that will work for you without draining the energy away from you. So my first tip is to set small goals instead of big, overwhelming goals. What I mean by that is that instead of telling yourself that you're going to lose 20 pounds or 40 pounds or you're going to make a huge amount of money that you know you probably will not be able to make even in 1 year, physically and theoretically, better off creating small goals, breaking down your New Year resolution into smaller, attainable goals. I personally do not smoke and I don't have any substance abuse problems or anything of that kind, but I would imagine that if I had these problems, I would not set a resolution of quitting from January 1st. Make it gradual. For example, from January 1st, I would decrease my consumption by 10%. For example, if you're smoking 20 cigarettes a day, that means you will only be smoking like 16 cigarettes or I don't know, whatever number that you're consuming. Then I would leverage the I would leverage the power of compound success and continue every time from where you left off. That means if you manage to decrease your consumption from 20 cigarettes to 15 cigarettes, next step will be 12 cigarettes. Absolutely doesn't matter if your progress is slow. It's better to actually dedicate a few months of your next year knowing that you're actually on the way of getting rid of your addiction for good. You're teaching your body to reduce the consumption of whatever it is that you're consuming. It could be food, it could be sugars, it could be cigarettes, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Basically, if you know you've failed before trying to get rid of whatever problem that you're trying to get rid of, and you know you've failed, you're probably gonna fail this year again. So just try a different technique, try a different approach to this problem, and I promise you, if you're gonna take small baby steps towards your goal every time, you will not be able to fail. So basically, it's better to focus on small steps and build a better habit strategy in the long run. Now, next thing is gratitude, and I know that if you're into self-development and personal health books, you've already heard about the power of gratitude, and do not think that this is all Rhonda Byron and the secret thing. I personally don't believe that when you're writing in your gratitude journal or you just write a few sentences in your diary where you list a few things you're grateful for, I personally do not believe that it has some kind of metaphysical effect on your surroundings, on your energy. But what I do believe, I do not believe in the esoteric part of gratitude. However, what I do believe in is that it allows you to shift your focus towards the thing you have achieved as opposed to things you did not achieve. And one of the biggest problems people often have is that they constantly concentrate on things they did not manage to achieve. So they basically concentrate on failure. And once you start concentrating on failure, your success actually goes downhills very fast. I personally do not have a gratitude journal, but I do have my paper blanks diary. I have the business paper blanks diary, and every day, in the end of the day, I just write three sentences, three things that I'm grateful for, and I'm not writing in great details. I'm not trying to elaborate. All I do is basically I just list three achievements for the day, and that's enough to keep me focused on the good side of things. Now, point number 3 is tightly related to the first tip that I gave you, and that is about exercising. And many people decide to start exercising from January 1st, and that's great, but you probably didn't exercise so far. So what you can do instead, again, it works for exercising, it works for anything. Start small. Just really start small. Move for 1 minute. Just take the stairs. Do small steps that will just get your body moving. I do not believe that if you have 50 pounds of extra weight, taking the stairs instead of the elevator is gonna help you. It's gonna kick your metabolism. Of course not. But it will teach your body to slowly get in the habit of moving, in the habit of actually taking the stairs, in the habit of doing something physically, moving, even if it's just a few minutes a day, even if it's just a few sit-ups. You have free time, just do 10 sit-ups, 10 push-ups. It's not gonna kill you, it's not gonna be very, you do not need to actually put on gym clothes on you to do 10 push-ups. You can do it just at home, in the comfort of your home. When no one is watching, do this every day. You'll get there. Next time, you'll feel that you're not gonna do 10 push-ups. You're gonna do 12 push-ups or 20 push-ups. And again, we're gonna get in the habit of compound success power, or whatever Brian Tracy calls it. Now, the next tip is something that I've learned in the pandemic right now. Since many of us spend a lot of time under lockdown and we were really deprived of our life experiences, and what we ended up doing is buying things. Many of us just spent hours shopping online. Of course, it was necessary because many stores were actually closed, so you had to shop online. Nonetheless, I feel that we as a society in whole switched from the mentality of buying experience as a society, we switched from buying experiences to buying things. And that leads to a lot of clutter, stagnation, depression, because yes, maybe you got a great deal online and you bought something that was 90% off, but all you did the past year and a half was shopping for things, clothes that you maybe will not even get a chance to wear because you don't know when the lockdown is gonna end, and fashion can get out of fashion. So depending on the situation right now in your country, I would strongly suggest to shift your mentality back to buying experiences, because in the end of the day, you're not, 20 years from now, you probably will not gonna remember a pair of shoes you bought online in 2021, but you will remember a time of your life you had somewhere on a vacation, or if you just went somewhere with your friends or family and you really enjoyed that time together and you have photos to remind you of that event. This is something you're gonna remember, and you're gonna cherish these memories a lot more, as opposed to a pair of yet another pair of shoes, or whatever it is that you're shopping online for. And the next tip, in case you do not have it in your New Year resolution, is decluttering. Now, I cannot overemphasize the power of decluttering. And that's not only because you've bought a lot of things and you probably have way too many things you own right now. This is because having a clear house, Jordan Peterson is speaking a lot about it in his 12 Rules for Life book. He says, clean your room first. And that's extremely important. It sounds very illogical to many people, but clearing away the clutter away from your sight, from your life, from your house, from your head is gonna have a tremendous impact on your productivity, on your life in general, on the way you feel inside your home. You'll have such a relief if you just purge all the unwanted gifts and all the old items, things you do not wear, you do not use, you do not need. I'm a big believer that decluttering alone can help you turn your life around financially, emotionally, in every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your life is going to be affected once you really purge all the excess, all the things that weigh you down away from your house. If you do not want to purge, or if you do not have, if you're not suffering from an excess of stuff in your house, the next tip is just to reorganize your house. Just move your furniture around, put them in a different position. Maybe you had your furniture in the same place for years, and I'm not gonna talk to you about the stagnation of energy or anything related to, you know, feng shui or anything like that. But what I do want to say is that it will bring a fresh wave of energy, but not in the esoteric sense, to your home. You'll feel a little different even with the same items in the same house, in the same room. Once you rearrange your furniture and maybe you introduce a little bit of different colors, you know, just small things like pillows or accessories, your room will get a second life, a fresh breath of light, and I promise you, you're gonna love the result. Now, next tip is about money, because I believe that this is one of the most important aspects of our lives. Many people are going to say that money is not everything, money is not health, money is not love, money is not this, money is not that. But in my personal opinion, there is no problem that a lack of money wouldn't make worse. Like, for example, take whatever problem you have. If you have money, that problem would probably be a lot easier to solve or to live with or to deal with, as opposed to a problem where on top of that problem you don't have money. So for me personally, money is very important. I have multiple streams of income and I make money from a lot of different sources, but I do also understand that, and I'm a big believer of the saying, a penny saved is a penny earned. So this year, try to concentrate on saving money more than on making money. For example, if you have a day job and you do not know how to monetize your time more efficiently, it would probably be better to look at your expenses, to go through all your expenses and look at places where you can actually save. Maybe you have old subscriptions where you're not even using that particular app or software or whatever. So it's necessary to go over all your expenses, cross all the ones that you can cancel. You'll save money just by canceling what you're not using. You can economize, you can save money on many things like food, like shopping on sale instead of shopping at the beginning of the season. You can shop online in outlets. There are many ways where you can buy the same things or maybe almost the same thing, a lot cheaper, just if you do a little bit of research. Of course, that also includes refraining from impulsive purchases, because impulsive purchases eat up a great deal of your budget. I'm ready to bet that you have at least a few impulsive purchases laying in your house right now that you really wanted to buy, that you've seen on YouTube, that you've read a review somewhere and you decided that you absolutely need that item, but in reality, once you got it, you probably used it once or twice, maybe even not that, and you just got rid of it. So going over your money and looking through your expenses, where your money go, what's your saving goal, perhaps considering a saving account before you even considering multiplying your streams of income, because you need security, especially if you want to start an online business and you know it's risky and you know that not everyone is succeeding, and you'll probably have to stick with your day job and have just something put aside so that you can trust your wallet when going independent. The next tip, again, I know many people are thinking about losing weight and getting in shape and living healthy, but a very small habit that can help you really turn your life around health-wise is going to bed early. That's the best tip I can give you when it comes to health, because if you go to bed early, ideally on empty stomach and not drunk, you will automatically have more sleeping hours. That means you will be less stressed, you'll reduce your cortisol, you will have more energy, and as a result you will end up achieving more in that day because you will not be tired, you'll probably have a better mood, and it's just gonna help you tremendously overall. Whenever I can, I probably try to go to sleep between 9 and 10 o'clock. I know this is very early. I know some kids go to sleep later than that. Nonetheless, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is basically my next tip. And since I actually wake up so early, I cannot allow myself to go to sleep at midnight because I will just be tired waking up at 5. I will either end up not waking up at all, or I will just wake up and feel miserable. So, like I said, the next tip is to wake up very early, whatever is early for you. I wake up at 5 a.m. I know that there is a whole 5 a.m. club. Many people are praising this idea, and to be honest, my entire life, I thought I'm an owl, and I didn't even know, because I was always working late. All my clients were from the US or from Canada, so I had to stay up late to actually catch with them in their time zone. So I always went to sleep at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, sometimes even 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. I went to sleep and I actually slept through the afternoon. And I actually took this for granted because I thought that this is how it just should be. I know many people like myself have kids, so it's very annoying to work through the kids, and you just have to wait for them to go to sleep, and you can prepare. You know, you have silence, you have peace, you have everything, all the conditions for working, and you can actually work at night. This is what many people do. However, I actually reverse the process. I go to sleep on the same time when my son goes to sleep, so I actually sleep with him, so to speak, and he wakes up at 7 and I wake up at 5. That means I have 2 extra hours, and I swear these are my most productive hours of the day. What I'm capable to achieve in those 2 hours is enormous. I can literally squeeze a whole day of work in these 2 hours. Of course, assuming that I wake up refreshed and I'm not tired and I'm not ill and I'm not whatever. If I just went to sleep between 9 and 10 and I woke up at 5, I feel ideally energized, I feel charged, I feel recharged, I'm full of ideas, I'm actually working. I don't know, it's really like the best thing that happened to me. Try it, but the only way to try it is to actually go to sleep very early on, because if you party until midnight, like I said, for example, today we have the New Year coming up, so if you're partying until probably 2 o'clock, you're not gonna wake up at 5. It's impossible. But other than that, the habit of waking up early is the best habit that I've adapted in my entire life. I swear, no kidding. And my last tip before I go and get the party started, the last tip is, considering the pandemic and everything that's going on around the world, my best tip is stop watching the news. Trust me, if there are gonna be any changes, or something changes, or you have new rules or restrictions or lockdowns, you're gonna be notified. Like, unless you live in a cave and you have absolutely no one to call you and say, oh my god, did you hear it, or someone who will just post it on Facebook, you'll probably be notified if there are drastic changes coming up. However, starting your day off by opening the news, which is what most of us do the past probably 2 years since the pandemic kicked in, we got in a habit of checking the news. I never watched the news before, but with the coronavirus, I started actually checking the news, watching if there's any updates, if the lockdown is coming in, and because of that, I actually had to actually force myself to stop watching the news, stop reading the news, because it exposes you to a tremendous amount of stress, and it's not even necessary. You probably already know everything that there is to know about this situation. There are no new breakthrough ideas or news that will change the way life goes. I personally don't think it can get any worse. So my tip would be just to limit and reduce the time you spend reading news or reading newspapers or watching news on TV. I would honestly recommend reducing it to the utmost minimum. You don't even need to be updated on a daily basis. It's useless information for you. You're only getting stressed, you're only getting nervous, and that's not helping you in any way. So guys, I hope you like this video, and hopefully it didn't turn out to be too long. I'm going to share more tips about productivity and New Year resolutions, and how to stick with your habits, and how to make money online, how to create multiple streams of income. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. I promised myself one of my New Year resolution points this year is to stick with my YouTube channel. I'm gonna release videos twice a week, which is actually a lot if you consider that filming and editing takes a lot of time, but I promised myself that I'll stick with my YouTube channel, and hopefully see you soon. So subscribe, and if you have a New Year resolution, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Happy New Year!